الحمد لله رب العالمين وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهديه واقتدى بسنته إلى يوم الدين وبعد. فقد قال جل وعلا في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد أرسلنا رسلا من قبلك وجعلنا لهم أزواجا وذرية وما كان لرسول أن يأتي بآية إلا بإذن الله لكل أجل كتاب. صدق الله العظيم. Honorable scholars, respected brothers, elders, mothers and sisters, I was asked to devote the final segment and session of this momentous gathering to highlight some snippets from the impeccable marriage life of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam for two reasons. A, we are speaking on the Seerah, and it is always perfect to draw lessons from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. B, by and large today, unfortunately, there is a crisis across the board, Muslim and otherwise, when it comes to the aspect of marriages. But before I do so, like I mentioned earlier this morning in my ladies' address as well, I like to just share with the audience whatever passage of the Qur'an was recited. So the passage of the Qur'an that was recited now ties up so perfectly well with the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allama Nasafi in Madarik al-Tanzil writes under these verses, so in that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the lofty rank of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, and then Allah speaks about Walid bin Mughira. Walid. So Walid bin Mughira has featured in many places of the Qur'an. And again, for our youth that are here, I must just make a little disclaimer here. I like to have my jokes, and I'll give you a fair share. But I don't like people to remember me for the jokes only. Learn the lessons, inshallah. Humor, banter, pleasantries is good, is necessary, and married jokes are always, refreshing, rejuvenating. It just gives you a sense of, you realize you're not the only guy, and it happens to so many people, and back and forward, and humor that is not offensive. إِنَّكَ تُدَاعِبُنَا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ إِنَّكَ تُدَاعِبُنَا يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Nabi of Allah, I see you have quite a bit of humor. لَا أَقُولُ إِلَّا حَقًّا. لَا أَقُولُ إِلَّا حَقًّا. Yes, even in my humor I utter the truth. So that's the beauty of our Islam, and that's what I want to touch on. Islam is not dry. It's not rigid, right? Of course, we need to qualify those statements, what we're saying. But there's so much, it's a wholesome package. And we can share so many incidents. So anyway, Walid bin Mughira, he, just to give a little context from different verses and then to shade with the ayat that were recited in the passage prior to my talk in Surah Noon. So he was known as Rayhanatu Quraysh. Oh, he was the flower of the Quraysh. His net income was like $1 million dinars per annum. He had 10 sons. 3 of whom had taken Islam. Khalid ibn Walid. And then Allah said, وَبَنِينَ شُهُودًا. We gave him everything. مَهَّدْتُ لَهُ تَمْهِيدًا. We spread everything out for him. Then Allah didn't only say we gave him sons. Sons is a ni'mat if they are shuhud. If you have baneen, but they're scattered across the world, they're not a ni'mat to you. وَبَنِينَ شُهُودًا. Your children are around you, and you're a lucky father. He's a rich man whose children run into his arms even when his hands are empty. And he's a poor man whose children know him for nothing other than an ATM. Right? That's what it is all about. There's this old joke that I quote in many of my talks. Probably you heard it in some of my talks. Good luck. If not, it's a new one for you. If not, tough luck. The early days of Telegram. No man, no fun, your son. Too bad, too sad, your dad. وَبَنِينَ شُهُودًا. Mufassirin write, Allah blessed him with 10 sons. Allah just didn't say banin. Shuhud. Shuhud. They were around him. Children are a ni'mah if they are there serving you and they are around you. That is an honor. That is a privilege. But if they're there and they're scattered and they're gone and they don't care, sometimes a child might be far in distance, but he makes more khidmah than the children that are living next door. You see, khidmah is to understand what needs to be done. Some people will phone daily. Hey, kamche. No, that's not the way you do it, man. That's not the way you do it. You can understand the need and you know the need and you've got to reach out to it before. That is khidmah. The Prophet ﷺ is sitting, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu is sitting, Umar radiallahu anhu is sitting, and Abbas radiallahu anhu comes. And Abu Bakr realizes the moment, this is the uncle, let me move back. Nabi Sallallahu didn't say anything. And Abu Bakr just moves and withdraws and ushers Abbas forward radiallahu anhu. And he Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, إِنَّمَا يَعْرِفُ الْفَضْلَ لِأَهْلِ الْفَضْلِ أَهْلُ الْفَضْلِ إِنَّمَا يَعْرِفُ الْفَضْلَ لِأَهْلِ الْفَضْلِ أَهْلُ الْفَضْلِ. Since the day I read this, I'm still grappling to give a good English translation. I'm still grappling, and I haven't conquered it. And you cannot. Kufuwan, kufu, the plural is akfa. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٍ قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٍ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدِ. If you open Misbah al-Lughat, you open Munjid, you open the dictionary, Samad, it will tell you a being who doesn't need anyone and everyone needs him. Not a commentary, that's a translation. In English, you can go to self-sufficient or independent, which gives you half the meaning. That is the translation of Samad, not the commentary. So anyway, children are a ni'mah, وَبَنِينَ شُهُودًا, when they are present around. May Allah make us those children to our parents. When Urwa ibn Zubair was in his fatal illness, well, on the eve of the battle, when his mum, Asma radiallahu anha, was 100 years of age, لَمْ يَسْقُطْ لَهَا سِنٌّ. Her teeth were intact. She was, of course, darirul basar. Her vision was impaired, but her body was intact. She was focused. Her faculties were preserved. And he said, Mom, I'm going and I don't think I'm going to return. And this is the last we meet. But Mom, I just need to tell you some things before I leave. كوني على ثقة أن ابنك لم يتعمد إتيان منكر قط وما عمل بفاحشة قط ولم يغدر في أمان قط ولم يكن شيء عنده آثر من رضا الله عز وجل ولا أقول ذلك تزكية لنفسي وإنما قلته لأدخل العزاء على قلبه. Mom, I'm going, I won't see you, but I just want to share with you some secrets about my life, just so that you can take solace from it post my demise. I'm happy to tell you at the point of departure, in my entire life, not one did I premeditate the disobedience of Allah. As a human, as a fallible mortal, I succumbed to circumstances, but it was not a premeditated crime. It was not a calculated, it was not a conscious thing. It was not something I wanted to do. It's human, it's possible, you slip, that's what happens. But I didn't orchestrate it, I didn't plan it, I didn't run my mind through it. كوني على ثقة أن ابنك لم يتعمد إتيان منكر قط وما عمل بفاحشة قط. My clothing is clean. My clothes are not soiled or tainted or blemished or diluted or polluted or contaminated with immorality. وَلَمْ يَغْدُرْ فِي أَمَانٍ قَطُّ. Mom, you can walk with your head high. I've never done anyone down in business. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ شَيْءٌ إِنْدَهُ آثَرْ مِنْ رِضَى اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. And there's nothing that gave me a greater thrill than obeying Allah. وَلَا أَقُولُ ذَلِكَ تَزْكِيَةً لِنَفْسِي. And I don't say this to trumpet myself and to blow my horn and to exonerate myself or to pontify myself. وَإِنَّمَا قُلْتُهُ لِأُدْخِلَ الْعَزَاءَ عَلَى قَلْبِي. I'm only saying this so you can take solace post my demise from the memories I leave behind. And what did the mom say? Alhamdulillah alladhi ja'alaka ala ma yuhibbu wa uhibba. I can only thank Allah. He fashioned you, my son, in a way that's pleasing to Him and pleasing to me. There is no joy like the joy of a child, and there's no pain like the pain of a child. There's no joy like the joy of it. When your child, I remember once when my middle son was small and he had to participate in a little school concert. I was more nervous when he had to speak in front of 20 people than when I had to speak in front of 30,000 people. And that's fatherhood. And that's a parent. Umar ibn Khattab was this giant, like no other person in history. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, yeah, there's a tree and it resembles the believer. فَوَقَعَ النَّاسُ فِي شَجَرِ الْبَوَادِي. And people started thinking, when you ask people a question, then they think of a complex answer. If it's simple, then why would you ask? That's human nature. And so their mind went into complex answers. And nothing came up. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, إِنَّهَا النَّخْلَةِ. It is your date palm. Right? And that's the beauty of Islam, that as a teacher, when we relate to people, we need to be contemporary in our analogies. We need to reach out. You're giving a talk, you're talking to someone, speak with things in their environment. Every animal reflects the greatness of Allah. But what did Allah tell the Arab? أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Otherwise, every animal is amazing. But Allah said Ibil, because the Ibil was in front of them. When Allah said He doesn't oppress, He said, وَلَا تُظْلَمُونَ نَقِيرًا وَلَا يُظْلَمُونَ فَتِيلًا. Naqir is the dots on the date bed. And وَلَا يُظْلَمُونَ فَتِيلًا, split the date in half and there's a fine cotton and that is fatil. And these were analogies they could relate to, they could identify with. The waxing and the waning of the moon, and Allah said it becomes like the date palm. Right? وَالْقَمَرَ قَدَّرْنَاهُ مَنَازِلَ حَتَّى عَادَ كَالْعُرْجُونِ الْقَدِيمِ. Araji in the plural. Anyway, we're hopping again, sorry. Sorry. So we were talking about Walid, Rayhanatul Quraysh. He had a friend, and Walid one day heard some of the talks of the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and it started impacting on him. And he said, no, I think I want to take the Shahada. So his friend said, no man, you cannot do that. And I often say, we generally limit peer pressure to youngsters, but everybody takes pressures from their peer, even the adults. Suddenly I say, now you're playing golf also? Now you're cycling also? Yeah, you know how's it, man? It's a boys thing. So, yeah. It's a boys thing. It's a men's thing. It's the new golf, cycling. Be fit, my brother, and there's place for recreation. Don't be obsessed. Don't be obsessed. Don't be obsessed. If Islam told us moderation in religion, then you can work out from there moderation in recreation. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam seen Zainab radiallahu anha holding on to this. And he said, what's this rope? She says, no, she holds on to it and then performs nocturnal salah. No, perform salah nocturnal as long as you are fresh. The narration is in Riyadh al-Salihin. When you're fresh and you're fit and you have nocturnal, of course, that's optional. Because you've got to exert yourself. فَإِذَا فَرَضْتَ فَانْصَبْ. After you've completed your mission, then stand in prayer. And nasab means fatigue. لَا يَمَسُّنَا فِيهَا نَصَبٌ وَلَا يَمَسُّنَا فِيهَا لُغُوبٌ. So the ulama say there's a subtle hint that you should engage in prayer to a degree of fatigue also. فَإِذَا فَرَضْتَ فَانْصَبْ. The word nasab gives a subtle hint. Anyway, let me just drop down a little bit here. So, getting to the point here. So he said, I want to accept Islam. So his friend said, no man, don't accept. He said, I'm worried about the adhab in akhirah. He said, buddy, you just pay me monthly, I'll sort you out in the akhirah. This is the tafsir. Buddy, you pay me out, man. Is it Sone wale ko sahara mil gaya. He was falling off to sleep, and then he got a support. Ye bhi gando, those bhi gando. I mean, like, where's your brains, man? He's going to sort out your azab in akhirah. When the verse was revealed that in Jahannam there are 19 angels that are in charge. So Abu Jahl said 19. I'll drop 17 in Madari. And his friend said, one friend said, no, I'll drop 17. Abu Jahl said, I'll hold the other 2. So 19 angels will hold them back here, and the others will say, you just move, we got them here. Right, go, paradise, don't worry, I'm holding them here. And in Tafsir Azizi, the hikmat of 19 is written. I read it myself. Tafsir Azizi, they say if it was completed, there wouldn't have been another tafsir so great. Right, but Qadar. In Tafsir Azizi, the hikmat of 19, there are 19 angels in charge of hell. Allah said, oh foolish man, we didn't say 19 humans, we said 19 angels. One is enough to wipe out the earth. وَمَا جَعَلْنَا أَصْحَابَ النَّارِ إِلَّا مَلَائِكَةً وَمَا جَعَلْنَا عِدَّتَهُمْ إِلَّا فِتْنَةً وَمَا جَعَلْنَا أَصْحَابَ النَّارِ إِلَّا مَلَائِكَةً. The angels are, those in charge are angels. And what kind of angels? عَلَيْهَا مَلَائِكَةٌ غِلَاظٌ شِدَادٌ. غِلَاظُ الْأَقْوَالِ شِدَادُ الْأَفْعَالِ. Those in charge of Jannah, they robust, they strong. One will wipe you out. Like, no, Walid, relax, man. I'll sort out azab for you. You pay me. So he started paying his friend monthly debit order. He started paying a monthly debit, and what's the stuff? But after that, Mama go to Hachwinat. So monthly is paying. Allah speaks in the Quraan. Then after 2-3 months, he said, no, man, this I don't have a proof of payment here. I don't have an EFT. I don't have a reflection. So then he withdrew. أَفَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي تَوَلَّى وَأَعْطَى قَلِيلًا وَأَكْدَى أَعِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْغَيْبِ فَهُوَ يَرَى أَمْ لَمْ يُنَبَّأْ بِمَا فِي صُحُفِ مُوسَى وَإِبْرَاهِيمَ الَّذِي وَفَّى أَلَّا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. How foolish, can you see the unseen? He doesn't know what's in the scriptures of Ibrahim, that Ibrahim was faithful, that a man will only get what he toiled for, and no soul will carry the burden of another soul. So Walid then withdrew, and he lost Iman also. He made reference. Now listen, we're talking of Seerah, may Allah give us the love of Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Walid spoke ill of Nabi alayhi salam, and wal-iyadu billah, wal-iyadu billah, wal-iyadu billah. He referred to Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as mentally insane. I mean, our Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's akhlaq is just beyond words, right? When Dhimad, he came to Makkah, people had told him negative about Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he used to treat. So he said, I've treated a lot of people, let me go and treat this man. Wahab ibn Munabbih says that إن الله تعالى لم يعطي جميع الناس من بدء الدنيا إلى قضائها من العقل في جنب عقله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلا كحبة رمل من بين رمال الدنيا. That the combined intelligence of the entire world is a dust particle, and the exclusive intellect of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is like the deserts of the world. And then you're telling a man like that you are insane, and my Habib is just sitting calculated. And my Habib is not moving. My word! I was reading a kitab, the tahammul of a Nabi, the zarf of a Nabi. The brothers of Yusuf, their luggage is opened up. And in Binyamin, they find this vessel. Now you might say, how can Yusuf put that vessel in the luggage and implicate him? The answer of all that is given in one verse. كَذَلِكَ كِدْنَا لِيُوسُفَ
كَذَلِكَ We did this planning for him. And when Allah does it, then everything, you know. The boss never comes late. He got busy. Right? The boss, the employee came late. Can the brothers kindly come forward? Just inch forward, inshallah. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you. Just inch forward, inshallah. There are brothers in the rear. So let's facilitate for them. So anyway, stand up and move forward, inshallah. May Allah bless you. Anyway, the luggage of Yusuf is opened up, and in that they find the vessel of the king, and the brothers are oblivious that they're speaking to the king. And what did they say? Oh, your majesty, man, forgive us, man. You know, he's a thief, man. He had a brother by the name of Yusuf, and he also used to steal, man. And Yusuf makes sabr. Whoa. Help me with vocabulary to explain this. Help me with vocabulary. I've done so many social cases in my life, you know. My dining room can speak and my lounge can speak. Books will be written. So like you have the couple here, husband, wife, and the husband is speaking and the wife is sister to speak. And then vice versa. It's like, if with his head he could say no, it would be the loudest no. Like, that's a blatant, brazen accusation, allegation, lie. That's an invention. No. This is you throwing out to the excellency of the king. قالوا إن يسرق فقد سرق أخ له من قبل فأسرها يوسف في نفسه ولم يبدها لهم قال أنتم شر مكانا والله أعلم بما تصفون. If you knew Arabic, your hearts would burst. Your hearts would burst. Our marriages, if there's a single ingredient we need, it's tolerance. After fidelity and gratitude, we need tolerance. Life by design is a test. Read the concluding verses of the 18th juz, Surah Quraan, and read the footnotes of Tafsir Uthmani. وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً أَتَصْبِرُونَ وَكَانَ رَبُّكَ بَصِيرًا. Oh, I read this so many times and I cry. We made one person a trial to another. Oh Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, this is mentioned in Tafsir Uthmani. Oh Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the infidels are there to test your sabr, and you are there to test their submission. وَكَانَ أَتَصْبِرُونَ, will you persevere? وَكَانَ رَبُّكَ بَصِيرًا, your Allah is watching who's inflicting and who's receiving. So a woman is like, wow, you know, if it was another woman, to care mukine nahi jate. And if it's from a man, you know, rather I got no good, but inshallah because of my sabr, I don't think Allah will give me less than Jannatul Firdaus. So the truth be told, according to each one, the kids are like, oh, my dad comes in my way. Parents are like, oh, these kids don't appreciate. This design of life is وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً أَتَصْبِرُونَ وَكَانَ رَبُّكَ بَصِيرًا. How can you say it better in one verse other than what Allah said? Allah summarizes, gives you a synopsis of every interaction on Mother Earth in one ayah. The teachers with the staff, staff with the teachers, governor with the subject. وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً. Fitna. That is why I said, you know, of all the years I've spoken on marriage, I haven't come across a greater principle to secure your marriage than the teachings of my Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة إن كره منها خلقا رضي منها آخر. Read till the cows come home. You won't come back with a greater teaching to rescue your marriage than what my Habib and your Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Tell a man not to dislike or despise his wife. If there's one quality about her that depresses him, there's surely 1,000 that impress him. Chapter closed. Chapter closed. We're not going to fix the wrong. The Prophet ﷺ recognized it. He recognized it. That's there. It's in its place. Don't magnify that. Don't focus on that. Focus on the good. Move on. Move on. That is there. That's how it is. That's going to... I just read this and I said, SubhanAllah, can there be a greater teaching? You say, no, this thing irks me about my spouse. This thing just agonizes me. But then, she's so amazing. She's this amazing mother. Sometimes a woman would phone, right? I'm having this issue. Okay, Ben, can I speak to your husband? He upsets me, but I won't lie, he's a good father also. He does so much for us also. I'm like, where do we go? And you know that, make peace and move on. Let's mention this Walid and come to that ayah, right? So Walid said that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was mentally impaired. He called my Habib Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mad. Whoa. The system of Allah is behind my Habib. The nizam of Allah is behind my Habib. I'm having a flash of so many ayat, and I attribute this to the du'as of my parents. This is nothing of my own. This is the du'as. It is wurud of ayat. This is from my Allah. This is from my Allah. When Aisha and Hafsa radiallahu anha, what did I say? The system of Allah is with my Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Walid said my Nabi was mentally impaired. And I tell you what Allama Nasafi says. So we talk of this, Seerah and marriage, inshallah, we'll give you a nice mixed bag. Mixed grill. Family platter. So, Aisha and Hafsa radiallahu anha, that hadith is in Bukhari and Kitab al-Tafsir, the whole incident of Maghafir, and they had hatched an innocent plan, not malicious, not evil. They are the beloved spouses, they are the honorable consorts, but they were human amongst humans. Aisha radiallahu anha said, لما تزوج رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سلمى حزنت حزنا شديدا. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got married to Salma, I went into a depression. And the only reason I went into depression is because I heard ye to gajab nahi rubai. I went into a depression. Read the narration. I heard she's just exceptionally fall dead. You only say my wife dresses to kill and she cooks in the same way. My wife dresses to kill and she cooks in the same way. It's like this guy says, hey brother, you're sick. You must try this formula. It's a home medication. You just take some of this and you mix this here. My grandma took it the day she died. Hazantu huznan shadida. So I said it to Hafsa. I said, you know what? I'm in a depression. وَكَانَتْ يَدًا وَاحِدًا. They were one group. And so Hafsa radiallahu anha said, this is ghira. This is ghira. This is your sense of pride and protection. She's fine, she's great, she's beautiful. In English they say nothing to write home about. But you're just overreacting. So she said, I then peeked and looked at her and I found her أَضْعَافَ مَا وُصِفَتْ لِي مِنَ الْحُسْنِ. I heard she was beautiful. When I looked, lo and behold, she was 10 times even more beautiful. I went into a deeper depression. Listen, I'm telling you, their life is perfect. It gives you the normal life. It gives you the balanced life. It gives you the other side life. They were humans from amongst humans. You reading this glossy magazine and this ideal life and you idolize, it doesn't happen anywhere. It doesn't happen. This is the real life. I looked at Hafsa told me, no, just take it easy. You'll just become a bit protective and possessive. And then I looked back and I realized she spoke the truth. Salma was beautiful, but not the way I had excited myself about. Not the way I had excited myself about. So anyway, Aisha and Hafsa radiallahu anha had hatched a little plan, and that had inadvertently, and watch the words, we talk with a lot of respect. We talk with absolute respect when we talk of our azwaj, and that's the difference. You can graduate from a faculty, and you can graduate from a traditional institution, and we hold with utmost respect. وَعَصَى آدَمُ رَبَّهُ فَغَوَى. You must see what Qadi Abu Bakr Al-Arabi has written under this word عصا. Academic. لا يجوز لأحدنا اليوم أن نقول ذلك في أبينا فكيف في أبينا الأعظم. عصا has many meanings. There's a context to it. We don't just take it face value and just throw it out. So academic language, I don't want to digress, but respect how we talk, the manner in which we conduct ourselves. So Allah told Aisha radiallahu anha and Hafsa radiallahu anha, remember what I was telling you? The army of Allah behind Nabi alayhi salam. Coming to the point of Wali. So keep the links, fill in the dots. إن تتوبا إلى الله فقد صغت قلوبكما. إن تتوبا إلى الله أي فهو الواجب. إن تتوبا إلى الله أي فهو الواجب. Or Aisha and Hafsa, repent to Allah and turn to Allah and don't hurt my Nabi. And inadvertent, not deliberate. They were those beloved. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam loved Aisha too much, loved Hafsa. One narration he gave Hafsa radiallahu anha talaq. The hadith of Abu Dawud, he said, irji'ha fa innaha sawwamatun qawwamatun wa annaha zawjatuka fil jannah. Allah has instructed you to revoke your talaq because Allah has decreed she's your spouse here and in akhirah. That was the maqam. Irji'ha. And when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was, his spouses had asked him, it's the footnotes of Jalalain, they came home and they said, no, we need better curtains, and we need a better house, and we need this. So the woman, and they asked, and it's the verse of Ayatul Takhir, O Nabi of Allah, can we do better with this? Can we improve on this? Can we change this? Can we buy this? The other day, the wife wanted to change the blinds at home. So then the brother came in and he's looking at, he's a good friend of mine, so he's asking me, are you comfortable with this, or what color you like? I said, to be honest, I don't have a problem with the ones that are on the window at the moment. Right? Really, I don't have an issue with it, but yeah, okay, according to my wife, yeah. So, pointless asking me, because he laughs at me and he says, you know, Maulana, that's a standard reply with all men. I don't have an issue with that. You know. But she felt that, no, we need to change it, and alhamdulillah, Allah reward them, because they take care of these petty things and important things. Otherwise, probably our kids would outgrow their clothes and we would never change it as men. I mean, let's be real here. You know, when the first child is born, you try and remember his date of birth. After that, it's all done. It's done. And wow, they just rattle off date of births, man. They just give it off. Yeah, this one. Fill in the form here, the visas. Yeah. This one. Me, I know my own. They say, what's the easiest way to remember your wife's birthday? Forget it once. إن تتوبا إلى الله, make tawbah, فهو الواجب. Then what did Allah say? وإن تظاهرا عليه فإن الله هو مولاه وجبريل وصالح المؤمنين والملائكة بعد ذلك ظهير. Listen, O Aisha and Hafsa, if you help one another and you hurt my Nabi is not alone. My Nabi is not alone. May Allah amplify my sentiments to anyone who attacks the personality of my Nabi. You up against the mighty system of Allah. You up against the army of Allah. You up against the entire armies of the heavens and the earth. إن تتوبا إلى الله فقد صغت قلوبكما وإن تظاهرا عليه. Listen, فإن الله هو مولاه. Allah is his Lord. وجبريل, and Jibreel is his guardian. وصالح المؤمنين, and the pious believers. علامة شبير أحمد عثماني رحمه الله رحمة واسعة in صالح المؤمنين in the Hashia writes, the pious believers. The awwal mistaq of Salih al-Mu'mineen, the first most deserving of Salih al-Mu'mineen was Abu Bakr and Umar. to tell Aisha in this argument, Abu Bakr is with Allah's Nabi, not with you. And Umar is with Allah's Nabi, not with you, Hafsa. Salihul Mu'mineen, and it doesn't, wal malaikatu ba'da dhalika dhahir, and the angels are behind him. So understand what you're up for, and don't hurt my Nabi. Don't hurt my Nabi, because then maybe he'll divorce you, and if he divorces you, Allah will give him wives better than you. Hakim al-Ummah in Bayan al-Qur'an raises a question, Asa Rabbuhu in طلقكن أن يبدله أزواجا خيرا منكن مسلمات مؤمنات. Oh man, I don't know. How can I tell you connect yourself to Quran? I don't know. I will die crying to the Ummah, reading all these filthy things, perusing haram sites, destroying our mind and our abilities. For Allah's sake, hold the Quran of Allah. Break your head in understanding Quran. Even if you didn't understand it, you'll go with ajr. Don't break your head to understand politics. You'll never get it right. So Allah will then replace him with women better than you. So Hakim al-Ummah writes, this ayah is releasing a hint that there are women on the earth better than the Azwaj al-Mutahharat. Khayran min kunna. Khayran min kunna. Then he gives the answer, فَلِلَّهِ دَرُّ الْقَائِلِ فَلِلَّهِ دَرُّ الْقَائِلِ. He said there's no woman better than the Azwaj. So then I hope you know what I'm talking, right? Please, sorry, thank you. Khayran min kunna. Khayr. Allah will give him wives better. How? He said, as long as you are in his nikah, khayriyat is with you. And when you out of the nikah, khayriyat will move away from you. So you are the greatest. لَسْتُنَّ كَأَحَدٍ مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ لَسْتُنَّ كَأَحَدٍ مِّنَ النِّسَاءِ إِنِ اتَّقَيْتُنَّ فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ. See what Hakim al-Ummah writes under فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ. He says فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ doesn't mean when you speak to a strange man, woman, don't speak in a sweet voice. He says it doesn't mean, who am I to tell you? Go read, my brother. He said, what a badhibat. That's obvious, don't speak in a strange voice, in a sweet voice. He says, don't speak in your natural voice. Don't sweeten your voice is not the command. Don't use a seductive tone is not the command. That's obvious you shouldn't use a seductive voice when you're talking to a strange man. فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ. Don't speak in your natural voice because Allah, nature has put attraction in your voice. So does it mean you must be raw? You must be harsh? You mustn't be polite? That's Qur'an. فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ وَقُلْنَ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. وَقُلْنَ قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. Let not the tone be sweet, let the speech be polite. Let the speech, you know, when it's a strange woman, she sounds so sweet even when she cries. I'm like, sister, I have a shoulder if you need to lean on. Like you're having this long haul and by mistake she just fell off to sleep and you don't want the flight to touch down. Like, no ma'am, please be at ease, you know what I mean? I'm quite comfortable with the burden. Do you know my religion and your religion is probably the only religion in the world that has legislated rules how you deal with a partner or a neighbor or a passenger or a fellow occupant who sits next to you for 1 minute. Islam governs how you deal with someone in a coach or a bus or a train or a queue. وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنْبِ وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَنْبِ. Be kind. There's courtesy. You're in a bus. You get into it's 2 minutes. Our deen tells us how I must behave with someone standing next to me in a queue in a post office. وَالصَّاحِبِ بِالْجَمْبِ. My deen won't tell me how to deal with my wife who's the mother of my kids and the partner of my kids, the partner of my life. وَالصَّاحِبِ. Mufti Shafi Sahib writes under this year, from this ayah we deduce the rules of a neighbor, a passenger, a partner. And sometimes people could be so uncultured, so raw, so abrupt, and they're sitting next to you. فَلَا تَخْضَعْنَ بِالْقَوْلِ. When you speak to a strange man, then don't sweeten your voice. No, don't speak in your natural voice, because that itself has an attraction. فَيَطْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَضٍ. Because then he'll start getting thoughts and ideas. وَقُلْنَا قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. But speech must be polite. قَوْلًا حَسَنًا مَعَ كَوْنِهِ خَشِنًا. The Allama Nasafi writes, the tone mustn't be sweet, the message must be sweet. Anyway, so khayriyat, I was telling you, Hakim al-Ummah writes, you are the best of wives. But if you're going to lose, so behind Nabi alayhi salam is the entire army, my brother. So Walid ibn Mughira, what did he say? لما عاب الوليد النبي بالجنون سماه الله بعشرة أسماء صادقا. See, Allah Nasafi writes, Walid accused Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam of insanity, and that was a lie. Allah exposed close to 10, because it's 9. 9 evil attributes of his. He had 9 evil habits. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, I read the entire Qur'an. I don't know if Allah has unveiled any person's evil like how Allah has left the lid on the fiber of Walid ibn Mughira. And why did Allah do it? Because he spoke ill of my Habib Sallallahu. And then Allama Nasafi writes, that's the system of Allah. You send durood on Nabi Sallallahu once, he gives you 10 barakah. You accuse Nabi once, he exposes 10 of your evils. You accuse him once, he exposes 10 of your evils. And did Allah go out for the kill and the jugular? Allah tore him apart. Allah exposed him. وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ مَهِينٍ. Halaf, just swearing oaths. That's not a case of a believer. People who swear oaths all the time is a sign of liars. Because you've got to keep on taking an oath to prove yourself. Right? Of course, there are certain times you take an oath, there's a context. But halaf, just swearing an oath. Qasam. Right? Maheen, disgrace. Allah speaks of all his evils in mubalagha. It's bad enough to be in sin, and it's only worse if you're a leader in sin. وَلَا تُطِعْ كُلَّ حَلَّافٍ كَثِيرُ الْحَلَفِ مَهِينٍ تَسْكِرٍ هَمَّازٍ هَمَزَ وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ وَيْلٌ وَادٍ مِّنْ أَوْدِيَةِ النَّارِ. A pit in hell. هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ. Speaking ill of people on their face and behind their back. وَلَا تَلْمِزُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't sit and talk bad of people. Don't sit and talk. Some people's dinner discussion is the gossip of the community. That's how they sensationalize it. Hammazin, Mashsha'in binamim, Mashsha. He carries tales ala sabilil fasad. Naqlul, this one to here, this one to that. Whole day. Utullim ba'da Hammazin manna'in lil khayr. A bakhil. One tarjuma. Because khayr can mean wealth. Manna'in lil khayr. He was a miser. Utullin, he was proud. Utullin ba'da dhalika zanim. Zanim means his lineage was not established. When this verse was revealed, in the Hasha of Jalalain it's mentioned, he went to his mother, he said, Inna Muhammadan wasafani bi tis'i sifatin a'rifuhunna ghayra at-tasi'. Oh my mother, today the Qur'an of Muhammad has blown the whistle on your infidelity. The Qur'an of Muhammad said, I speak oaths. The Qur'an of Muhammad said, I carry tales. The Qur'an of Muhammad said, I'm a miser. The Qur'an of Muhammad said, I'm arrogant. I know that is within me. But the Qur'an of Muhammad said, I don't have an established lineage. That means, Mom, you are up to some shenanigans. Inna abaka kana ummina. I'm not going to translate. Read the Hasha of Jalalain. Yeah, the man who you call your father is not your father. I had married him, he had an empire. and we needed somebody to inherit it, so I had to give access to some shepherd somewhere, and that's your father. He said, okay, because I know the Qur'an of Muhammad never speaks a lie. But that's it, what they say, Qur'an janne ka naam nahi hai, manne ka naam hai. Manne ka naam hai, my brother. Allah spoke about Fir'aun. Fir'aun seen Musa alayhi salam, and he knew it was the truth, but he denied it. And that is exactly in Arabic what you call juhud. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. Jahada, you deny verbally, but in the heart you know it's the absolute truth. Why? ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. Out of arrogance, out of pride, you're going to lose your position. So anyway, Allah then exposed 10 of his evil qualities. So, let's speak a little more on the blessed life of the Prophet ﷺ's marriage. Today, when we speak of marriage, then the first thing people want now, the youth and children, you want to hear about romance. You want to hear about excitement. You want to hear about some form of love and that kind of relationship. Amazingly, if you look into the life of our Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there was this perfect balance, right? And Mufti Taqi Uthmani hafidahullah has written something so amazing, and I really love this here. He said, taking active measures to enhance the relationship with your wife or your partner. This is from the matters of akhirah and not the matters of dunya. Because our Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam did things to enhance the relationship, right? Our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did things. And let me say a statement here, and let me say it loud and clear. We are proud of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's marriage to Khadija radiyallahu anha, and with the same level, if not greater pride, we are proud of his nikah to Aisha radiyallahu anha. We make no bones about it. We make no issues about it. If somebody who doesn't believe in my Nabi has reservations, well, that's his choice and his life. But a man who believes in the life of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his heart, there cannot be an iota of reservation, apprehension, uncertainty, or any form of uneasiness towards the nikah of Nabi alayhi salam. And don't throw that word pedophile at me. Don't throw that word pedophile at me. My Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was 25 in his prime, in his youth. You know the strength of a Nabi is 40 men of this world. My Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Hajjatul Wada, he consummated with all his spouses in one night. Nowadays people have more lust than strength. You know what I'm talking, right? Yeah. Nabi Sassam's strength was a different level altogether. In the prime, at his young point, with all that beauty and strength, he weds a woman who was widowed twice before. My mother Khadija, a woman like no other woman. Khadija, I salute you, my mom. I love you, my mom. You're the only woman who enjoyed the company of my Nabi 25 years uninterrupted. As long as you were in the life of my Habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam, there was no other woman coming in that union. That speaks volumes. Kana li minha walad. She mothered all my children. Amanat bi idh kafarani an-nas. Saddaqatni idh kadhabani an-nas. وَوَاسَتْنِي بِمَالِهَا إِذْ حَرَمَنِي النَّاسِ. She was married to Abu Hala, Zurara bin Tamimi. From their two children were born. And then she was then married to Atiq bin A'id Makhzum. For Allah's sake, learn the life of Nabi alayhi salam's wives. You know what pains me more? We don't know that, and we know the life of all these other people. You know, one is you're ignorant here and you're ignorant there. You're ignorant where you ought to have knowledge, and you have super knowledge when it comes to other things. She was widowed twice before. She was widowed twice. She was passed away before 5 salah were revealed. At that time, Janazah salah was not yet mandatory. Hakim ibn Hizam radiallahu anhu's narration. The sister of Khadija radiallahu anha comes and she knocks. Fahtazza. Nabi Sallallahu says, oh, this is so nostalgic. That knock reminds me of my Khadija. So Aisha radiallahu anha says, O Nabi of Allah, ما تذكر عجوز من عجائز قريش حمراء الشدقين أبدلك الله خيرا منها. Would you now close the chapter on this old lady and move on? Nabi Sallallahu said, Aisha, I love you and you're very close to me, but Khadija is too dear to me. Kanat wa kanat, kanat wa kanat. She was out of the world, she was out of the world. 7 children Allah gave my Nabi Sallallahu. One from Rayhana, from Maria Qibtiyya radiyallahu anha, Ibrahim radiyallahu anhu. 6 children from Khadija. My Nabi Sallallahu youth, his prime, his life, his shabab was spent with this woman. Her loyalty is like no other one. The 3 last years of her life, when she's now about to leave the world, she's 62 years, comes the final test of her partnership. She's subjected to the social boycott at 62. She exits at 65. Abu Talib passes away. Days later, Khadija radiallahu anha passes away. وبموت خديجة الذي أعقبه موت أبي طالب تضاعف الحزن على رسول الله. The last 3 years in her life, the last 3 years in her life with my Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she is subjected to the muqata'a against Banu Hashim. Such was her love, such was her loyalty, such was her relation, that whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would get a sheep, then he would slaughter it, يُقَطِّعُهَا أَعْضَى, and then يَبْعَثُ بِهَا فِي صَدَائِقِ خَدِيجَةٍ. He would take a parcel and said, go give it to the friend of my late wife Khadija. Go give it to the friend of my late wife Khadija. So the Prophet ﷺ spent the prime of his youth and his life with Khadija radiallahu anha. Anyway, I was saying to you, to take active measures to enhance the marriage is from the rich teachings of Nabi alayhi salatu wassalam. There was a perfect balance of humor, of commitment, of religion, of love, of ambience in the life of Nabi alayhi salam. Aisha radiallahu anha had again a unique. The scholars cannot conclude between Aisha and Khadija radiallahu anhuma who was the closest to Nabi alayhi salam. It's a debate. They conclude on that they don't know. They just stop there. They stop in their tracks. Because there's so many narrations that just makes Khadija radiallahu anha unique. This much is definite from all the azwaj. It's between Khadija and Aisha radiallahu anhuma. They were the closest. But between them, some go with this, some go with that. But suffice to say, what more do you need than being the wife of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam as a fakhr and an honor? My body freezes, my bones, you know what, I have a shiver. Aisha radiallahu anha said, Nabi Sallallahu came home, and then she says, Hatta lasiqa jilduhu bijildi. Lasiqa jilduhu. His skin was touching my skin. His flesh was touching my flesh. You say you're dining with a celebrity, and with I don't know who. Imagine you with Allah's Nabi. You touch him. And he's like, Aish, Jibreel was here, he gave salams by the way. Aish, Jibreel was here. Ya Aish, hada Jibreel, yaqra'u alayki salam. He gave salam. And my Habib jumps into bed. And Aisha radiallahu anha says, he talks to me. And then until he feels I fell off to sleep, then he exits. In ta'ala ruwaydan, labisa rida'ahu ruwaydan. خرج رويدا. He doesn't deny me proximity to get together. I find, we can speak that if we can find time to sleep together. You know, when couples get married, and that sunnah of feeding your wife Now I just want to find out, Mawla, do I give her first the morsel or does she give me? Should it be porridge or should it be something solid? Can it be, I might feed together, right? Eat together. And after that you eat in different times, different zones. I always say giving your wife is a morsel, is a sunnah for the newly wed and the nearly dead. Is a sunnah for the newly wed and the nearly dead. Right? Then the rooms have changed. How many couples, the rooms have changed and they're young still. And I don't like to get personal, but one of the questions I asked, how's the bedroom life? Nothing. Now, no bedroom life happening, my friend. Hello. Right? Then unfortunately, I need to be respectful and diplomatic and euphemistic and you know what? Then unfortunately, elsewhere you kind of taking care of that. Islam has created a system of interdependence. That is it. And the more we're trying to become independent, the less we can stay in a marriage. Because the system is, I need you, my wife, and I make no bones about this, and you need me. And today we say, no, you don't need him. No. Well, why must you ask? Listen, I have a need, and if I have an argument also, by the third day in the morning, you know what? I need to start praising you, and you're so amazing, and you're so great, and obviously she knows where this discussion is going, right? It's just not a praise. She knows exactly where this is going. This is moving in a particular direction. She has a need, I have a need, and this interdependence keeps the wheel turning. But we're trying to become independent. So we have independent incomes, we have independent movements, and we can, if you munch whole day, you don't need to eat iftar time. Right? You know what I'm talking, right? And if you munching in your break hour and in your lift club and in your neighborhood, then unfortunately that was. But taqwa, the fear of Allah, is not going to allow me. And this is such a bitter pill or challenge for a man that listen, you are angry and you are enraged, but obviously you're having the need to be close to your partner. And that's going to drop you. It's going to humble you. It's going to make you apologize because I don't want to do anything. My Allah is going to be angry with me. And I cannot suppress the need within me. Listen, my love, my darling, forgive me about what happened yesterday. Leave the lunch, we'll sort it out later. Lunch we can always have. Oh, yeah. The kids, I think your mom was calling them. That's a need within me. That's a need within me. So it forces me into a private space. And I'm close. And my Habib sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, have a relationship, have a messenger, have an envoy before you consummate the relationship. Be close. Don't post it on social media. Be intimate, be modest. What happened when Salman Farsi radiallahu anhu got married? So he got married to a woman in Kinda. So when he came there, he found the house was draped up. So he said, "Amahmum baytukum am tahawwalat al-Ka'batu fi Kinda." Your people's house looked like a garba taucha. You got fever or what? What's all this draping? He said, "Ma baytuna bi mahmum wa la tahawwalat al-Ka'ba." That's the way we just have a wedding. He said, "Okay, you know what? Awsani Khalili." You know when they say Khalil to Habib Sallallahu, there was a bond that no language can translate. My Habib, my friend told me this is not how you start your marriage. So if you're okay, I need to move all this. So he moves it. He enters in the house. There's all these gifts and all that. Awsani Khalili alla yakuna mata'i fi dunya illa kazad al-raqib. My Habib told me in this world I must live like a traveler and I must have basic means. I often say, my brother, Sahaba were more conscious of Allah in their weddings than we are in our funerals. Their weddings were more compliant to the prophetic decree than our funerals are. Our funerals, when you're on death, you think everybody would be compliant, is not so aligned as their weddings were. Please take all this away. What's this? Khadamuka wa khadamum ra'atik. These are servants for you and your wife. Awsani Khalili. My Habib said that I must live like a wayfarer. You can take everything away. Then he said to the woman that was sitting there, هل أنتن مخرجات عني مخليات بيني وبين امرأتي. You people can now go, leave me and my wife, we need to be together. And then they leave. أرخى السترة. He then drops the curtain, puts his head on a forelock. اللهم إني أسألك خيرها وخير ما جبلتها عليه وأعوذ بك من شرها وشر ما جبلتها عليه. Allah comments, as my Habib told me, I ask you the goodness from her forelock, I ask you the goodness from her family. تزوجوا في الحجر الصالح فإن العرق دساس فإن العرق دساس. Don't just get married to a pious woman, get married in the lap of piety, because the qualities of that family will come into the children. The qualities will come from that entire family. And then he said, أوصاني خليلي إذا اجتمعت على أهلي أن أجتمع على طاعة الله عز وجل. My Habib said that when I start, we start on nobility. So he moves aside, he offers 2 units of prayer, he makes dua, she says Ameen. ثم قضى منها ما يقضي الرجل من امرأته. They meet in seclusion, the need is fulfilled. فلما أصبح, when it's morning, his friends come up to him. كيف وجدت أهلك يا سلمان. So Salman, how was your first night? فأعرض عنه. He walks in the opposite direction. كيف وجدت أهلك يا سلمان. So Salman, how was it? فأعرض عنه. He turns away. They say, before you kept a diary and you didn't tell anyone about it, and if somebody read it, you felt offended. Now you throw out in social media, and if people don't read it, you feel offended. يا لفساد الذوق. يا لفساد الذوق. And then he said, إنما جعل الله تعالى الستور والقدور والأبواب لتوارى ما فيها. The reason we have a curtain door and veil is what happens inside. So look at the warm moments. My mother Aisha radiallahu anha, she says, Ya Rasulullah, أرأيت لو نزلت واديا. If you are traveling and you get to a valley, وفيها شجرة أكل منها وشجرة لم يوكل منها في أيها كنت ترضع بعيرة. This is the Nabi of Allah and Aisha. I just want to ask you, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if you're walking and you get to a valley and you hop off your camel and there are animal trees from which the animals have come and they used to graze and the shepherds used to come and there's a tree there and nobody touched it and it's a virgin tree. Where's the likelihood you're going to take your camel? To the trees where others have come and grazed, or the tree that hasn't been touched? And the reference was obviously she was the virgin and she was not married before. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, I will go to that tree where nobody has touched before. Wow. Wow. Just look at the warmness. Just look at the love. Just look at the affection. And so the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is returning from this campaign and Jabir is with him, the famous narration, and suddenly Jabir is moving fast. And Ma yu'ajjiluka ya Jabir. Jabir, you really excited it. Ya Nabi of Allah, sorry, I didn't tell you I got married. Jabir got married. Allah's Nabi did not solemnize the marriage. Allah's Nabi doesn't know about the marriage. Nabi Sallallahu is not offended about this. Nabi Sallallahu is not offended. Just formalities, protocol, bureaucracy, red tape, customs, traditions. Some of us think if a person accepted Islam, his Islam is pending until he don't eat dar chawal. By the way, in the hadith, on a Friday afternoon, beetroot is mentioned. Right? Read the narration in Riyadh al-Salihin. There was this ajuz, ta'khud al-silq. There was this old woman, she used to prepare some beetroot from the roots and create some food. And the Sahaba, imagine Allah's Nabi used to go eat her food. Yeah. Something like, you know what, you need to dye people in the dye of Allah, not in your customs. صِبْغَةَ اللَّهِ وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ صِبْغَةً صِبْغَةَ اللَّهِ وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ صِبْغَةً. Color yourself in the color of Allah. Bleach yourself in the bleach of Allah. Wrap yourself in the rung and the color and the loan of Allah. Not your own tradition and custom. Separate that from faith. Jabir, you're very excited. Yeah, I got married. Oh, really? Bikran am thayyiban. And Allah's Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is returning from a campaign. You know, some people, sometimes the taqwa levels reach a bit too high. And they What do you mean, my brother? What do you mean? Allah's Nabi spoke about this. Of course, there's a time. Allah's Nabi is coming out from a sacred journey. And he's asking this to Jabir, is your tongue more pure than my Nabi? Is your tongue more pure than my Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Jabir, you got married, okay, that's fine. I'm just curious. Sister was young or a little matured? Huh? I'm using, you know what I mean? There's one brother, he asked me his age. So I always consciously, I just drop people's age, you know? And they said, no. I said, no, you look 25. Allah shukar 42, alhamdulillah. I do that consciously, people get excited. Especially, you know, the Doha look, Moola ke WhatsApp. So many man are 85, that's one like. Uncle is the WhatsApp, they all want to do 70 jo labo. But I knew, why you look 95? You look 95, Tata. Anyway, I see some excitement for a few years, why not? So I do it. So one day, you know, reverse psychology by mistake, I pushed the guy up above his age. So he's like, no, Sheikh, it's just that I look so mature. Okay, brother, good luck, you know. Good luck. It's just that I look so mature, you know. Yeah, the world's so desperate today, man. The world's so desperate today for fame and recognition. So the brother knows all night what he did nonsense. In the morning, mashallah, he attires himself in this robe and everything. And he says, hey, mashallah, you know what, you look like an angel. Don't believe you're not the first person to tell me that. You know what you were up to all night, man. Really? And you can still fall for that? The youngsters are driving, you know what, the courtesy car, because his car is at the workshop, and I was like, I like your wheels. Thanks for the compliments. Be honest, it's not yours, man. Back off. Hello. It's not your wheels, man. Are you so desperate? Really? It's not your wheels, man. Say it as it is. But if it's coming, praises are coming, just let it be. Bikran am Thayyiban, Jabir, young or old? No, Thayyiban. She's a bit mature. Oh, where were the youth of this ummah? So my Habib said, Halla Bikran tula'ibuha wa tula'ibuk wa tudahikuha wa tudahikuk. Ah, Jabir, koi jaan poli holi lagte yaar. These are the words of Nabi alayhi salam. Jabir, why not someone? Then you want romance, excitement, happiness, warmness, love, affection into Halla bikran tula'ibuha wa tula'ibuk. You could respectfully fondle her, play with her, have some entertainment with her. She would make you laugh, you would make... Oh Nabi of Allah, my dad moved on and he left behind young daughters at home. I also wanted a young wife, but the moment put the pressure on me. I had to rise to deliver the occasion. So I didn't want to bring a wife who would be another sister at home. So I decided to forego my personal interests. And I went for an old woman who could mother my sister and partner me. Asabda ya Jabir. Asabda ya Jabir. Oh Jabir, I salute your vision. I salute your vision. Sometimes your brother passed away. He leaves behind a widow. There are 2 children. You had a dream of a young girl. The moment calls on you to wed the widow of your brother, to take care of the kafalat of their children. Rise to the moment. That was the time when the youth of this ummah made us proud. They made us proud. Nabi alayhi salam is out in a campaign. And then, what happened? Aisha radiallahu anha's pendant broke. And Aisha radiallahu anha is looking for her pendant. And everybody can be in the car. And you can shout to children, but if your wife didn't find her scarf pin, rather start reading something in the car and patiently wait. Patiently wait. You can kind of hint and that you people take long. Yeah, what you up to? Yeah, don't rush your mother. I'm saying you come, right? Just give space. Just give. Now look at my Habib Sallallahu, right? So the Sahaba are going and they are on the conveyance. And Anjasha radiallahu anhu used to sing this poetry, and at that used to excite the camels. So you sing certain things, kana yartajis, and then the camels get excited. So he started singing, and he got the camels excited, and they started moving. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Ruwaydaka ya Anjasha, rifqam bil qawarir." Anjasha, by direti hangwano. Go slow, Anjasha. There's precious cargo on the camels. There's precious cargo. What they say, life is fragile, handle with prayer. Handle with care. Life is fragile, handle with prayer. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, go slow with these camels. There's women on it. And my Nabi paid tribute to women by saying they are glass. شبه النساء بالقوارير في الضعف والرقة وسرعة الانكسار. And the Prophet of Allah said they are glass. How? They are highly delicate. Understand the delicate and the fragility. It's fragile. It's fragile. Deal, handle, and that's where we men lose it. Today I said to the woman in the ladies' store, I said, my sister, I'm not going to tell you love your children. That's what you do. I'm going to ask you, make your husband your biggest baba at home. Make your husband your biggest baby. Make him a king. Make him a king. Then you can swipe those cards as much as you want. Right? This guy, the thief stole the card, the credit card, and then the guy caught him and he said, why did you steal it? You don't have to do this again. And then he goes, but you can take your credit card away from him. You see, whatever it is, he swipes less than my wife. Whatever. Make him a king. Let him come home to a home. Let him feel acknowledged and appreciated. Give him that, and then you'll see. I promise you, he will take. When he comes home, don't offload. There's a friend of mine who says, it just beats my logic. I'm at my office. My wife phones on my landline. Where are you? He's calling on my landline in the office. So if you call on my mobile, I understand. I'm at home in the office. You call on my way. We were in Maldives. So I was in Mali. I had a program in Sri Lanka, so I had a program in Mali. We went to just do a tour in Mali. So anyway, we're doing a tour. My friends are with me. And this brother is taking us around. After that, the phone rings. So this guy is talking to me in Afrikaans, we kind of codify in that here. They say, praat met sy vrou. This guy is talking with his wife. We don't know a word of the language, but his tone, his expression and everything. He said, this guy is talking with his wife. He put phone down, he can broke down. Sorry, problem. You know wife, when food ready, no come, problem. Ya Allah, dunya firo mamla yahi hai. I thought that's an Asian issue. I thought it's a Gujarati problem. I'm like in Mali, man, and the poor driver is grappling with the same thing. The issue is the same thing. I'm like, okay, man, this is one and the same. We're not going anywhere. The food is ready. I tell, come to, but I know come, no problem home. Okay, my brother. Okay, my brother. So, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is looking for the pendant. The whole Sahaba group is with Nabi Alayhi Salam. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gives Aisha her space. And she's looking so long, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam put his head in her lap and he fell off to sleep. The hadith is in Bukhari. Inqata'a riqdun li. Now, Aisha radiallahu anha is not moving, so Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not good. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not good, nobody's good. And what happened? One pendant. And it's the time of Salah. وَلَيْسُوا عَلَى وُضُوءٍ وَلَيْسَ مَعَهُ مَاءٍ. They don't have wuzu and water is not available. So they come to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Abu Bakr, respectfully, we're going to speak to you about them. Really, I mean, the pendant. Let's be here. We're going to move on. So Aisha radiallahu anha said, perfect life. Perfect, real life. Not movie life. True life. Absolute life. Perfect example, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He's a human. He's calm. He diffuses the situation. Diffuses it. What they say? 10% of our argument is because of difference of opinion. And 90% is because of the wrong body language. The wrong body language. The anger, the rage, the aggression. Yeah, what do you think? I call my brother, I call my father. I call, what's your... Then what happens in 10 minutes, the problem we had is over. Now we're fighting about our families. And then we become super matured. 3-year child becomes the interpreter. Ask your mother if she wants milk. Ask your father if you're having supper. Poor child is running, Mama, he's running around. This guy is like the coordinator, the translator, and he's moving back and forward. You know? It's like 3-year-old child is carrying here because like, nah, oh man, like sometimes we all, right, we just lose it. We lose our marbles and we just, how many young adults are tired? They don't know how to deal with the differences of their parents. My dad always says, create a bond between your partner beyond your children. So the day your children leave, you still have a bond. Don't only be connected to your partner because of your children. Because and there's nothing to discuss, and they're all gone. Right? Now how long are you going to talk of the weather? Okay, here maybe you can talk more. Because the weather is not all that conducive, you know what? So you have more to talk. We have sunny, bright days, so alhamdulillah. But how long? Now your link was only his tuition, her work, his wedding, this, that, but they're all gone. They're all gone, and you're not on one page. Suddenly there's no bond between the two of you. You've got nothing to talk. You've got nothing to talk. So you know what? She starts a home industry, and he starts golf. That's the real truth, what's happening in the world. That's the real truth, right? So they come to Aisha radiallahu anha, they come to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, comes and he nudges Aisha radiallahu anha. And he says, so Aisha radiallahu anha says, Ma yamna'uni min at-taharruk, I can't move because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's head is in my lap. And then just then the ayat of tayammum is revealed. وإن كنتم مرضى أو على سفر أو جاء أحد منكم من الغائط أو لامستم النساء فلم تجدوا ماء فتيمموا صعيدا طيبا فامسحوا بوجوهكم وأيديكم. And what does Usayd ibn Hudayr radiallahu anhu say? ما هي بأول بركتكم يا آل أبي بكر. Oh Abu Bakr, I don't know how to describe your fortune. When you people have hiccups in your life also, it becomes concession for the ummah. And then they stand up, and when they stand up, the pendant was beneath the foot of the camel. You know, they're doing a hamboyato, right? And the Nabi of Allah is calm and is relaxed. And Ibn al-Jawzi makes mention of this narration. Ibn al-Jawzi makes mention. So I'm saying, in a nutshell, I say, men, if we can become loyal, faithful, this is what I normally say. If I can talk to my wife in the same way as polite as I talk to strange women, then I promise you we have been a date and a court and a relationship and outing every day. And if my wife can, number one, be grateful, and number two, love me unconditionally like how she loves her children. Women love their children. They love, and we salute them for that. If she can give off that love, 80% of our marriages are rescued. So I need to be sweet, polite, like how I am with a strange woman. It's just amazing how a man just tones down. He just tones down, he just becomes passive, he just becomes gentle. Yeah, I'm listening, sister, I'm listening. So, you know, and women are sensitive to a woman phone years ago, and then I just said yes, G, and I understand sensitivity, so I didn't say sister, Ben, or anything, and I just put the phone down and said, who was that, sister? So I said, no, how you know? Your tone said it everything. Your tone said everything. You can just see how you're blushing. Like, who's blushing? Just see how you're blushing. What did I do, man? So, if I can be sweet, polite with my wife, like how I am with strange women, and my wife can be grateful, I ask sisters to appreciate my sister, appreciate what the man is doing, what he's earning, appreciate mutually, right? And at the same time, give off this love that Allah has given you for your children. I mean, multitasking is just an amazing feat of woman. You know what? Men, little headache, and you know, we're out. A woman is doing with a headache, and she's pregnant, and a backache, and she's constipated, and she's got her nausea, and that's by the way. That's just by the way. She's running a multitasking. My head off, and if you want, my hair off for you. You know, they can multitask, and they're amazing. Allah has blessed us, given us different roles. So the Prophet ﷺ, Ibn Jawzi makes mention of the narration. They're out in Hajjatul Wada, and Nabi ﷺ is moving with the entire group and the Azwaj. Aisha radiallahu anha's camel is swift, her luggage is light. And Safiya radiallahu anha's camel is sluggish, and her luggage is heavy. So Safiya radiallahu anha is slow, the camel is sluggish, the luggage is heavy. And look at Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't reproach Safiya and say, now, why did you bring so much luggage? Huh? Is this the way you bring luggage? Now sometimes we just say certain things either way to one another, and then we just hurt one another. And we press certain sore nerves, you know. I quote this in my marriage talk very often, and it's easier said than done. The secret to a happy marriage is not to wed the perfect partner, but to love the imperfect partner perfectly well. The secret to a happy marriage is not to wed the perfect partner, but to love the imperfect partner perfectly well. Just to love your partner with his or her weaknesses. Just love one another and appreciate them, and not make sarcastic, condescending, derogatory, inflammatory remarks and hurt their honor or esteem, or say nasty things and destroy them, because that's when we lose. And I think as men we need to realize, because there are a lot of things that, I lost so many of my jackets and so many of my probably, this or that, but don't lose a woman's container. Just don't do that, right? Just don't do that. Just bring it back. Bring it back. Don't mix the lids. Bring it back and but I'll buy you a whole set. But just bring it back. Right? Move on, and I think we fail in this. We fail in this here. And we need to look into the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. He had this perfect. So he said, حَوِّلُوا مَتَاعَ عَيْشَةَ عَلَى جَمَلِ صَفِيَّةَ وَمَتَاعَ صَفِيَّةَ عَلى جَمَلِ عَيْشَةَ. Doesn't just alternate the luggage. Put Aisha's luggage on Safiya radiallahu anha's camel, and put Safiya radiallahu anha's luggage on Aisha radiallahu anha's camel. Just let's calculate it. Allah's Nabi, His wisdom, His vision, just alternate it so we can be moving with a good pace. But for a woman, that was my private. غَلَبَتْنَا هَذِهِ. Again, this woman gets her way. Now, understand the emotions of a woman. رضي الله عنهن. Ibn al-Jawzi's narration. In إعلام النساء, he makes mention of it. أَوَلَسْتَ تَزْعُمْ أَنَّكَ نَبِيٌّ. Aisha radiallahu anha said, but you were saying you're a prophet? Now, I'm trying to find the link between the two. So Nabi Sallallahu said, أَوَ فِي شَكٍّ أَنْتِ يَا Aisha. Why, Aisha, you doubting my nabuwwat? فَهَلَّا عَدَلْ. Then where's the justice? She come with heavy luggage, money, inu saman kem chala later on. Pote inu lawano. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu comes in, and Nabi Sallallahu said, Abu Bakr, move away, this is me and Aisha. This is the whole Sahaba with. And Allah said, Abu Bakr, just move away. Just move away. I was going to Hanna Hamud to Hanna. God, what I said. The fortune, what I took. Allah was to the room. Allah was to your jarak. You know that the best part of our fake life? You get to someone's house, right? And the kid is like, Dad, can I take the car? Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, my baby. Dad, can I have the phone? Yeah, no problem. You know the kid. Yeah, it's fine. Listen, man, we're all going through that, man. Just talk straight, man. You know, what do we fake in this life? What are we fake? My Nabi is out in Hajjatul Wada. He's the paragon of Allah's creation. And Aisha is, aren't you a prophet? Oh, man. And, I'm looking for me to say, and if people call you great, I mean, that's mild, man. It's mild. I'll take it with a pinch of salt. So, subhanallah, Abu Bakr comes in, the Prophet tells Abu Bakr, move aside. So but see how Aisha Nabi said, when a woman is emotional, momentarily she loses her composure. That's the gist of that hadith. Momentarily she loses her composure. Just give her the time and the space and allow her to move with her emotions and deal with it. Now, my last message that I want to say, we need tolerance. Both husband and wife, it's about tolerance. Remember, وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً. So here's the incident from Quraan. When the Sahaba were going out in the different expeditions, some of the wives and children had prevented their fathers and husbands from participating in the ghazawat. And this is no, al-waladu mabkhalatun majhalatun majbanatun. The Prophet ﷺ said, your children make you mild, they make you coward, they hold you back because of your children's demands, you tend to hold back. So they didn't participate in the different ghazawat. So Allah revealed the verse and Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu inna min azwajikum wa awladikum aduwwan lakum fahdharuhum. O you who believe, some of your spouses and your children are your enemies. Allah used a stern word. Allah said they are a foe, they are your enemy. Fahdharuhum, beware, be careful. So then they started like excommunicating. And no, you know what, Allah sounded a word of caution and Allah said, you've done this here. But then Allah revealed the verse, what they did was wrong, and the way you're dealing with the situation is no better. What they did was wrong, but going forward, وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا. In the entire Qur'an, the Qur'an is replete with impressing upon us to forgive. In my limited understanding, I haven't come across a verse where Allah uses three phrases at one juncture, impressing upon us forgiveness, but in the context of marriage. Allah says, فَعْفُوا وَاصْفَحُوا. Allah says, وَلَمَنْ صَبَرَ وَغَفَرَ. Forgive, forget. But when it comes to forgiving and forgetting with your wife and children, Allah says, فَعْفُوا وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا. وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا. Going forward, forgive, forgive. And as a parent, I say to you, my ustad had said this to me, and may Allah reward him, when your child hurts you, take out sadaqah at that time and make dua for his forgiveness and forgive him. Because if you don't forgive him, that hurt will set him back in life and that will hurt you even more. So that's a tough thing as a parent to do. My son is looking at me with a dirty eye. I don't want life to teach him a bad lesson, because then I will cry more. So when he hurts you, forgive him, take out sadaqah and ask Allah to forgive him, because his hurt will hurt you more. His hurt will hurt you more. That's the reality. So going forward is forgive and forget. Overlook, my brother, overlook. Simple analogy, give me this glass. They say, I hold this glass. It's light, it's not heavy. And I'm holding, and after 5 minutes, I've become a bit heavy, and it becomes burdensome. And the weight hasn't increased, the duration has been extended. The weight is the same. If you're going to hold grudges in your heart, you're going to harm yourself more than anyone else. So it's a light thing, but because you're carrying on for so long, you're just going to hurt yourself. Things are said. The other thing I often say, in an argument, a lot of nasty things get said. Post the argument, don't analyze it. Both parties don't really mean it. When we start analyzing it, we start a fresh argument. Right? So you told her dirty, it wasn't right, and what she told wasn't right. But if you're going to analyze it, then you're going to only compound it. Third thing, fourth thing, is that in an argument, you know you're carrying on in the marriage, don't vomit on the clothing you have to wear. If you're going to take off the clothing, throw it out, empty it out. But you're going to wear this here. The stench is going to hurt you. You have to carry on with this partner, and you want to carry on. And the last thing, don't stay in the marriage only for your children. Find reason to love each other. Find reason to love each other. Revive the happy moments. I said in my ladies' talk, and I'll say it again today, surprise one another. Break monotony. Give someone a gift. Send a kind message off time. Just say a loving, caring word. I just phone you. How many a times in my journey of fatherhood, in my challenges with my sons, I have picked up the phone to thank my dad, to say there are certain things that have only dawned upon me with the cap of a father on my head. And I can only imagine what you had to contend with me. Because there are certain times you only appreciate it, like, you're grappling, you're juggling, you're running, and a child doesn't know. Like a simple thing, when I say women should be grateful, and I'll end here, you travel, right? I travel a lot, so now I don't buy too many things because I'm traveling every week. How much must I buy? But anyway, So you go and you go look for it, you go to the shopping center, you buy it, you wrap it, you put it in your hand luggage. You're very particular about this here. You put it through the security. You get into the cabin, you put it on top. Somebody will say, wait sir, I'll open it back. 1 minute, I'll get it down. You're holding this thing with great care, affection, everything, and you come home and you look at it, your wife says, I don't like the color. What? You know, I say some people speak one language, but they can swear in 3 languages. अमुक लोगों ने ज़बान एक आवड़े, पण गाल 4 ज़बान में बोले. मैं बोलती गुजराती में गाल अल्लाह बचावे. अल्लाह बचावे. My wife, do you know? From Toronto, I'm carrying this parcel. You know which shopping mall? It was -10. Like really, man. Oh, what brand? Okay, Jazakallah. No. You've broken me. You've broken me. And the same when she prepares a meal. We ask Allah to mend our marriages. We ask Allah to put happiness in our homes. We ask Allah to put barakah, that we come home, we look forward. A home is a place where you hang everything. Home is a place, forgive the expression, you can cough, you can throw your saliva, you can release your flatulence. Nothing can give you that home. That's the better look. You know what? Anywhere else, you know what I mean? You got to watch yourself. They say, you know, there's 2 types of flatulence. You get the loud and proud and the silent but violent. Right? So now also this protocol, people, you got to watch yourself. But in your house, on the bed, you're sleeping together in one another's face. Forgive me, I don't do that, right? But that's muhabbat. And you know what marriage is, my brother? The first night of your life, you become so close to a woman that you never ever became so close to your parents. وَقَدْ أَفْضَى بَعْضُكُمْ إِلَىٰ بَعْضٍ وَقَدْ أَفْضَى بَعْضُكُمْ. And one advice to men, when you're very good, you know, they say, Bau dayu ni banwano. Bau dayu ni banwano. Dayu banwano ban bau dayu ni banwano. When you're becoming good, don't vomit your past out in commitment of confession. You know what? Because that will be thrown back at you. That will come back to you, my brother, and you'll wonder why. You told me yourself what you did, man. Anyway, it was an amazing conference. May Allah bless you all. I enjoyed myself. I trust you enjoyed. I pray we become better Muslims. I hope you are invigorated and inspired. I need nothing from you but prayers and du'as. And that inshallah Allah takes us closer to His deen. We love our deen. We study the Seerah of our Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Go home, become a better partner. My sister, you listening, love your husband more. My son, you listening, hug your father. My father, you listening, embrace your son. It's a wholesome package. Become greater people, add value to life. وصلى اللهم وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. O most kind, most loving, most gracious, most merciful Allah, we ask you through the agency of your supreme name, Ismuk al-A'zam, through which no prayers are rejected, to forgive all those that have gathered here. O Allah, this program was arranged and coordinated to refresh and to celebrate the impeccable, flawless legacy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Transmit into our lives the great teachings of Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Grant him the highest abode that you ever gave to any Nabi on behalf of his ummah, O Allah. Allah, let us internalize, imbibe and execute his noble teachings, Allah. Those of our marriages that are experiencing discord and turbulence, Allah, we ask you to rescue it, O Allah. We ask you to allow understanding to reign over them, Allah. Maturity to reign, Allah. Allah, those of our young boys and girls that have been caught up in the scourge of drugs and intoxicants, and their parents are tossing with pain, return these youngsters home safe and sound, O Allah. Allah, jerk them but don't hurt them. Allah, jerk them but don't hurt them. Allah, jerk them but don't hurt them. Allah, were you that are in the clubs and the pubs, in the raves and sleeping on the laps of strange women and holding bottles of alcohol, Allah, you take that out from them and put put the sajda marks on their forelocks, Allah, and make them loyal and devoted and obedient to Allah. Those of our youth that are dabbling in haram, you free them from that addiction, O Allah. Those of our young girls that are anticipating good partners, my Allah, we ask you, we beg you, Allah, grant them good partners and let their parents sigh with relief. Those of these couples that are married and are hopeful and are desirous of noble offspring, my Allah, we ask you through your grace and your kindness, iradatullahi huwa al-wujud. My Allah, your sheer intention is existence, Allah. You bless them with children, Allah. Allah, those that are in a financial crisis, my Allah, you have said, Inna hadha la rizquna ma lahu min nafad. Your treasures are unlimited, they are inexhaustible, Allah. Give them halal sustenance, O Allah. Oh Allah, we say to you the very dua that Sayyidina Musa said, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. We desperately need the good you can give us, Allah. We say to you what your servant Nuh said, Rabbi anni maghloob fantasir. We overpowered, help us, O Allah. We say to you what Musa said, Rabbi ighfirli wa li akhi wa adkhilna fi rahmatik. Have mercy on me, on my brother and my family, O Allah. Allah, we have nothing to offer to you. We say to you what the brothers of Yusuf said to Yusuf, وَجِئْنَا بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ فَأَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلِ. We came with false notes and fake notes, but give us full measure, O Allah. Give us full measure, O Allah. Let every person return from here safe and sound. Grant them a safe journey back, Allah. Reward the organizers, the coordinators, the donors, the well-wishers, the attendees, the brothers, the sisters, O Allah. Allah, make us good humans, Allah. Make us good believers. Make us good British nationals, Allah. Make us good people to fellow non-Muslims, O Allah. Allah, let peace reign over the planet, O Allah. Allah, give us the ability to exhibit the character of the Prophet ﷺ to Muslim and non-Muslim alike, Allah, to friend and foe, O Allah. We ask from you all the good that Habib ﷺ had asked from you. Allah, we ask you to let peace reign in Syria, O my Allah. Allah, we ask you to rescue the plight and the crisis of our brothers and sisters, O Allah. Allah, we ask you to halt the tyranny of the tyrants, O Allah. We ask you to stop the oppression of the oppressor, O Allah. The aggression of the aggressor, O Allah. Allah, let peace reign on this planet, O Allah. Give us the love of your deen, Allah. Connect us to your deen, O Allah. Instill within us the sense of joy over this beautiful deen, O Allah. Allahumma inna nas'aluka min khayri ma sa'alaka minhu abduka wa nabiyyuka Muhammadun sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. ونعوذ بك من كل شر ما استعاذك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله